And my liberation is really the conclusion of the best campaign I've ever seen.
Well, thank you, Professor. One thing I would like to ask you is this: now, this has propelled you to another level, and as a liberal thinking French Cameroonian, how are you planning to get like-minded Francophones to join your school of thought and try to support the Ambazonian struggle?
The first thing for me has been, for me personally, to join my Anglophone brothers and sisters, to be with them, to live with them, to understand them, actually to fight for them. That was my first task, and that is what I'm working through. I think that is the most important, the basic thing. If any Francophone does like I do, then we'll have a fight. Now, the next chapter certainly is to make sure, and many are already with me, that one for sure, to make sure that I have platforms, I'll call them political platforms, that bring together people of goodwill who are willing really to invest their time and energy and money in the fight for the liberation of Anglophones. And like I said, also respecting their own way of doing politics, because as a matter of fact, most Francophones invest their interest already in Anglophone schools through their children. So those are the kinds of specifically Francophone things that I'll have to take care of, to understand, before I can even ask Francophones to come along or to do something for Anglophone land. So what I'm trying to say is that my own liberation is a way through which I'm trying to build the bridges, but also to make sure that Anglophone sisters and brothers always understand that I'm with them and will be with them unto the end.
Thank you, Prof. So that was the question I wanted to ask you now. I wanted to ask you, why would you think is the problem for Francophone or Cameroonians in the east of the Congo? What's the issue that they cannot unite behind a common objective? Because some rather spend a lot of time and energy calling out on Anglophones to stop what they're doing, to stop advocating for their freedom. And why can't they rely on, why can't they put themselves together, unite behind a common goal, like Ambazonians have done? We have united behind a common goal, and it's freedom, and we are dying for it every day, but we keep going. So why can't the Francophone Cameroonians find that common goal? Because I believe that if they had found their own common goal, it would definitely have made it easier for both Cameroons.
Think of soccer. To score a goal, you can kick a penalty. But you can also come from the left or the right angle for the same goal. It will still count. You can kick on the ladder and still score. It will still count. So Francophone Cameroonians will never have the same strategy that Anglophone have. So it is essential for us to understand the kinds of strategy they are having, even tactics. Now the other thing is that if you remember how the Anglophone fight, the last phase of it, the one we are having now, started. It started slowly, right? It started even in, I think in July. One had a lawyer's strike in Bamenda in July 2016. One had a lawyer's strike. Nobody knew that it would end up being what we have in July 2016. I remember giving an interview saying that that is a good sign. But none of us knew that it would end up being a war, right? So it started slowly until in October, November, one had a small acceleration, and then in December, etc., etc. No truck can start speeding. No movement, popular movement, can start in speed. It is impossible. So what is important now is to find voices, to have voices that strongly present one goal. for people never to forget that goal. And I'm trying my best to say that for Francophones, the goal is to chase beer. The Anglophone crisis is going to be walked along. For Francophones themselves, if they understand that their goal is to have beer away this year, 2018. So now along the way, one will solve all the issues one has on the table, because we have to understand the basic problem here is beer for Francophone and for Cameroon in general. The basic problem. If beer goes, when beer goes, then one can look for solutions, be it federation, be it separation, be it whatever. But the condition sine qua non is beer must go. So if that comes back on the table for Francophones, then they will be mobilized. But somebody has to be steadfast and to say it all the time for people to remember that, which is what I'm doing and which is what I'll be doing all along.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Prof. So, Prof, as a way forward for the common crisis in the Cameroons, in the wake-up of the arrest of our president in Nigeria on Friday, what do you think is the way forward for the crisis? What is your outlook?
Yeah, but you saw yourself, it has, of course, I'm totally against his arrest. He should be a free man. I'm going to talk to his wife to make sure that she understands it this way. I have a contact and I'll keep in contact with her all along. I'll do my best for her and for his family to actually remain steadfast. I'll do what other people did for my own family and for me. Right? So I'll pay back if you want. It is quite natural and normal. But what is important is that movements of today are leaderless. And you could see it yourself when you had a ghost town, a massive ghost town still, even though he was arrested. So that is essential to know. It is that the fight goes on. It is that the struggle is not the struggle of one man. It is the struggle of a population. The struggle is not the struggle of one person, of one leader. It is the struggle of the women and men who are on the street. It's the struggle of the people who actually feel hardship. The struggle in Tombel. It's a struggle in Boya, Kumba, Nyasoso, etc. Santa, the struggle of the people who actually feel the pain of living under oppression. And that one is not the struggle that needs a leader. It's the struggle of every single person who is him or herself a leader. So with that, I will say the case is solved. The struggle goes on. It goes on.
Yeah. So what would be, as a professor this time, what do you think that's the way, if you were to advise the stakeholders to solve, to come to a solution to this problem, what would be your advice? If you are
Number one would be, beer must go. Beer is the problem, it's not the solution. Beer must go. That's number one. Actually, he should be arrested, he should be put in jail, and then one can start having a dialogue between the people who actually want to either build a country or build two of them to find ways forward. So a dialogue with beer is not possible. It is not. So I'll say anything Anglophones do now to wipe out this regime, to destroy this state, is good. It's excellent. Keep on doing that. Because that state doesn't have the right to exist anymore. That president doesn't have the right to be a president anymore. So it is only after that, and I really insist on it, it is only after that and without beer that one will have a dialogue, not with him.
Okay. Okay, Prof. So purportedly, there's supposed to be elections in Cameroon in 2018. Do you see Cameroon to be a country that is in a position to hold a credible elections in the next 4 months?
No, I would say for that election, let Biya and Fundi win it. Let Biya win that election. Give him 98%. No issue. But the struggle goes on. Because it's essential to realize election is not any issue, it's solving nothing. There is no election in Cameroon. There has never been any election in Cameroon. So the next one is not going to change. Most important is to stay focused on the struggle and to make sure that after Biya, one has a dialogue to either have one or two states.
Thank you so much, Prof.
It's been a wonderful time having you on show, Prof. What would be your advice to Francophone Cameroonians as regards the Ambazonian struggle? What would you tell them? Because apparently, when you go to platforms where they are, when we have any setback in the struggle, they are happy. And it begs the question, do they really understand what we are fighting for, or are they just being dismissive of our plight and rejoicing when we have any setback in the struggle? What would be your advice to them? And because most of them watch our channel and they want to hear and see what we do. So I would like you to talk to them and tell and advise them on how to.
My advice will be always stay on the side of truth and justice. Always stay on the side of truth and justice. And now in Cameroon, truth and justice are Anglophone. Always stay for the people who fight against oppression. And for now, it is Anglophones who are fighting against oppression. So the oppressed will win, will prevail, whatever the case. So I will say, think every single day that your privilege is built on the back of Anglophone brothers and sisters. So question yourselves. And I will say, do not think that because you send your children to Anglophone schools, you have done everything. Because you have to remember that those schools actually are built out of the strength of Anglophone people who wanted to send their kids there. So don't be accomplices of a tyrant. Actually, work with the people who show courage and dignity in the face of adversity. That's what I would say.
Thank you so much, Prof, for taking the interview. You have said you are building a platform. You should know that SCBC is your partner in doing that. And we are going to support you. You are an Ambazonian. Every Ambazonian accepts you as an Ambazonian, and you will get that support from Ambazonian. Anytime that you need Ambazonians to do anything to support the work that the activist work that you are doing, just give us a call. We will make sure that we mobilize as much as possible so that you can be portrayed the way you are portrayed, so that liberation can become a common thing for the Cameroons. So thank you so much for the time. We have really taken, we've had a nice conversation. We are sure that we'll have many more conversations.